Hi everybody, welcome to the AB3 and Sammy Show. AB3 here, ready for another episode with you guys to teach you ladies what you can do to get the guy of your dreams. So we've covered a lot of topics over the last few months, and there's one that keeps coming up that I thought it was time to address. And that is, I want some of you to change your mindset a little bit and give guys a chance that you wouldn't normally give a chance to. I sometimes call this the Cinderella effect or the Cinderella syndrome, where a lot of girls have this faulty programming, if you will, and guys too, where they keep waiting for this perfect knight in shining armor to come along and sweep them off their feet. Now, that happens as a result of all of these Hollywood movies and Disney movies we've seen over the years, where we've been taught, and it's been impregnated in our minds, that the right person for us is this perfect being that shows up one day, and once we look in their eyes, we know right away that's the right person for me, and therefore anything that's less than that right at the outset is not good enough. Some examples are, you go on a first date with a guy and you don't get swept off of your feet right away, so you figure, well, I'll wait until the next guy. Maybe he'll sweep me off of my feet. You go out with another guy, he was cool, but I think I'll wait a little bit longer. Next thing you know, you're 40 years old, maybe you're 45, and at least in your mind, you think that the right guy just never came along. But in reality is, you never let the right guy come along, or maybe the guy came along multiple times, but because you were trained the wrong way, you were programmed with faulty programming to believe that he didn't sweep you off your feet fast enough, or you didn't feel enough chemistry that you let these guys go. So what I want to talk to you about today is just that, and that is giving guys a chance. Now, I'm not saying you need to go on one date and then if you feel no chemistry at all, force yourself to go on a second date. But what I am finding is a lot of people, or a lot of girls that go on dates with these guys, they go on the date and they actually don't mind the guy. They get along with the guy, but they don't think they feel enough chemistry to warrant a second date. They don't go on that second date. But I'm promising you there are situations, and I know plenty of them from our clients, where they do suck it up. They do go on a second date with a guy that they liked. They weren't sure about the guy romantically, but they liked the guy. And we encourage them, just go out with him. Go out with him a second time. And you know, it's kind of like the TV show Breaking Bad, if you've ever seen that. That's one of those TV shows where everybody raved about it. Everybody told me, you gotta see Breaking Bad. It's the best show ever. And I thought, you know, how many years later I finally forced myself to watch it. But keep note, I forced myself to watch it. And the reason I forced myself is I wanted to see what all the hype was about. And sure enough, it was one of these TV shows where, you know, the first 3, 4, 5, arguably even the first 6 episodes were boring as hell. But once I got past that first little pilot season, or those first 6 episodes, you know what? I couldn't get enough of the show. Just like everybody else, I fell into that trap. And I would suggest some of you girls that, or a lot of you girls that, where you feel like you're stuck in a trap, where you keep going on date after date after date after date, and you can never find the guy, and not months are passing, but years are passing, and you wonder what's going on, what's wrong with the outside world. Like I've said in so many other videos, start looking at the inside world. What's your programming? What are your beliefs? If things aren't working out the way you want to, then change the way you think, or change the way you do things. We all know the definition of insanity by now, right? And that is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result each time. So if you're doing the same thing, you really got to change what you're doing. And that is, you know, push yourself to go out a second time. You know what? If you go out on 2 or 3 dates with this guy and you still don't like him, fine, you got your answer. But you'd be surprised how many people, just like Breaking Bad, they give, or even push themselves a little bit to give somebody they're not sure about a chance. And next thing you know, a year later they're married. Or they have a great relationship with somebody because, you know, maybe the guy was a little bit nervous on his first date with you, so he put up his wall. And did you ever think that maybe when you're meeting a guy for the first time, you yourself are putting up some sort of shield that prevents the guy from being himself and maybe blocks the chemistry between you two from fully blossoming? It could very well be happening. So, you know, today that's all I really want to talk to you about, and that is breaking away from that Disney mindset of thinking the perfect guy always has to ride in on his white horse on the very first date. Give people a chance. Give yourself a chance to get to know somebody. Don't always think that you have to have this fireworks of chemistry on your first date or even your second date. Give people a chance, and you'd be very surprised with, how your luck, as you might think it is, quickly changes in the dating world. So that's my lesson for you today. Good luck with everything. Keep out there. I know for some of you girls, you've been having a hard time getting bored with the same routine of guys. So if you're bored with the same routine of guys, change your own routine of the way you do things. So until we meet again, good luck dating and date great.